The rise and impact of Black Lives Matter research. My name is PJ, and for my ethnic studies project, I really wanted to dive into Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is something that has taken over my childhood, and I think it's very important that we, since it's a podcast, just have open conversations about what the movement is about and how I perceive it and how the media perceives it. And to give a little background of myself, I'm a African American. Myself, both my parents were born in Nigeria. I lived in Los Angeles, California all my life. And to be frank, I've never dealt with racism to my face. I've always lived in a very diverse community. Being from Los Angeles, you see a lot of different people, different colors, different religions, and you always heard of racism, but I never felt it. And Black Lives Matter really felt real during COVID because of the George Floyd situation. But I remember the Trayvon Martin incident, and when Black Lives Matter kind of took place, initially I was kind of on the same timing of, what about white lives? What about Asian lives? What about Mexican lives? But the more you realize, the older you get and the more you realize that movement, Black Lives Matter, is not just that Black Lives Matter. Everybody's life matters in this world, but when we're getting targeted, when we are getting killed, police violence, all these type of things, it was a movement that was created, and I think it was honestly a great thing. And I really wanted to explore this conversation because I feel like social media has taken Black Lives Matter into another atmosphere. I think the hashtag Black Lives Matter was everywhere when George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, all these videos went around and Black Lives Matter was everywhere. And I think they kind of threw it in your face. And a lot of people didn't know what it was about. Doing my research, I talked about the founders, Patrice, who is from Los Angeles, Opal Tometi. He's a Nigerian American human rights advocate and known for her work in immigrant rights. She also helped Black Lives Matter a global movement by expanding its online presence. And Alicia Garza, who's a writer from Oakland, California. All these people have the same common goal, and that was just to spread awareness. And with that awareness comes change. The first way to change a problem is to identify the problem and bring awareness to it. And that's what Black Lives Matter was. It was a way to bring awareness to the injustices that was happening, and hopefully laws would be changed. And that's what this is all about. Getting laws changed so everyone is held accountable for their mistakes and everyone is given the fair opportunities. In my research, I found that Black Lives Matter has pushed for major policing reforms. After the death of George Floyd, a lot of states, including some of the main ones like New York, California, and Minnesota, banned chokeholds from police officers. Obviously, when we saw George Floyd get murdered on tape, people wanted to talk about the police brutality and everything like that. And with that, laws were changed. So that was a really good thing that came out of it. The body cameras were something that a lot of states didn't have, or a lot of police unions didn't have. And so they're, pushing for more body cameras to be on police officers, hoping that they would, um, limit them from making bad mistakes and racist things. But also, the voting rights in black communities is something that is really been affected through the BLM movement and influence. And the corporate responses when everything happened, Nike, Netflix, Ben and Jerry, everybody donated money. Everybody, made it a point of emphasis to have that a part of their brand, to show that they align with the Black Lives Matter movement. And when you get such big corporations doing such, you get their influence, but you also get their money, and you get their loyal customers and fans kind of buying into Black Lives Matter. And all visibility is a good thing for this cause, because you need more people talking about it. These conversations start to make change. And I think a lot of people have their reasons for liking Black Lives Matter, not liking Black Lives Matter. But I think in this research, I was really just able to understand how much really went into the changes that have happened. A lot of people just see it as a hashtag and it's cool, but there's actual change being done. And I think that's some of the best things that I was able to learn.